Child Life Specialist at Children's Hospital. I'm here at the aquarium today with Austin. Austin, can you tell us about your job and what you do here?
Yeah, so I am a horticulturalist here at the Tennessee Aquarium.
What does that mean?
So that means I take care of all of the plants here at the Tennessee Aquarium. That means I have to water them, I have to feed them, I have to trim them, I plant them. If any of them get brown, I pull them out. But it also means I have to play in the soil and get that right. I have to plant them in around all of the exhibits, around animals. And so I try to make the plants grow in these places that we have made for the animals and the fish here.
Why does the aquarium need a horticulturist?
So if you think about all of these animals, when they live in the wild, they're surrounded by plants. Plants provide food, they provide shelter, they provide shade, they provide living space for so many animals. And so if you bring animals into an exhibit or into a place that's not in nature, it makes them more comfortable to have plants, because it makes that habitat more natural. It makes it feel more like a natural habitat.
How do you pick which plants go where?
Oh man. So there are a lot of factors. We try in most of our exhibits to have the plants be from the same location as whatever animals, fish, whatever organisms are in that habitat. So if an animal is from South America, we would like for the plants to be from South America. But there's also temperature considerations. So some of the exhibits are cooler, some of the exhibits are warmer, like butterfly or in here in Tropical Cove. And then, so for some of the exhibits, like in butterfly, we pick plants that produce nectar because that's what the butterflies will feed on. But we also have to make sure that we don't put plants in that their caterpillars would like, because we're not supposed to have caterpillars.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's a lot to think about.
There's a lot of little things to try to keep up with, and sometimes we try plants and they don't do well, and sometimes we try plants and they do better than we want, and we have to trim them back a lot. And so part of it is just a learning process of figuring out what will grow where and look good and help the animals on exhibit and help people appreciate the exhibit.
Yeah. What is your favorite part about your job here?
I love planting plants and finding the exact right place where they're going to be as natural and happy as they can be. I also really like in the cove next door, seeing the seasons change. And I like seeing new flowers coming out, because I feel like in here in Tropical Cove and Butterfly, there's almost always a new flower, a new plant that I see that I didn't even maybe realize was there. So, yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite plants where we are right now?
So there are a couple of plants that I really like around here, but one is a pitcher plant.
Okay.
And so if we can walk over here. So these are tropical pitcher plants. And so these would grow in Southeast Asia, and they grow kind of like a vine on trees, and they make pitchers, like a pitcher of water.
Yeah.
And these pitchers hold fluid that's digestive fluid. And so these pitchers will catch insects and digest them as food. And this happens because the soils that these plants grow in, they don't really have a lot of nutrition. And so they developed other ways of getting the nutrition, the vitamins they need. And so sort of like a Venus flytrap, or there are native pitcher plants. These
to our area? Or
to the eastern United States, yeah. And those would grow in the ground.
Okay.
They're not growing like vines, but
because they start here or start.
Yeah, these are in these pots, and they'll grow up onto the tree like a vine.
Oh yeah.
These are usually really just, they're such cool plants.
Yeah.
The fact that some plants actually more or less eat to be able to survive.
Yeah. You don't think about that. You think about like sun,
water, air, soil. Yeah. There are also plants that don't really grow in soil. So I love orchids, especially tropical orchids. So a lot of these orchids, they grow as what's called epiphytes. So they would grow on the side of a rock or the side of a tree. And they've developed these roots and kind of a lifestyle where they get rained on and they may collect a little leaf litter, but they don't grow in soil.
Yeah.
In fact, if a lot of these, if they grow in soil, it ends up killing them. But all of these are also epiphytes.
Okay.
So that means they grow on trees. So the tillandsias, the bromeliads,
So pretty.
so they're tropical plants that would grow on trees. I think that's fascinating that like not all plants need soil.
Okay, can we take a look at the butterfly garden?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Let's
that's
go.
awesome.
There are a lot. So we get butterfly shipments.
Oh, is he supposed to come?
It'll be okay. I'll
Okay.
get them. We get butterfly shipments in almost once a week, and they come in typically on a Thursday or a Friday. If you want, I'll put one on your hand. They come in Thursdays or Fridays, which means by Sunday and Monday, the case is just exploding with butterflies.
How often do you do butterfly releases?
So I typically come once in the morning and once in the afternoon.
Oh. So how does a horticulturalist end up releasing butterflies?
So part of the reason is because I work in the butterfly garden. I alternate my time
Yeah.
with the entomologist who
Right.
takes care of the butterflies. So she's off Sundays and Mondays, and I'm here on Sundays and Mondays. And so
That's perfect. But what a fun part, like
So-
a fun additive to, you
I-
get to see the animals enjoy the plants you make
Yeah.
happen. So
yeah,
that's
we're
really fun.
we're the two people who work the most in the butterfly garden, and so it just made sense for us to kind of cover
Yeah.
the work for each other.
Yeah.
So I
Did
love
you
butterflies.
think you would end up getting to work with all the different animals when you decided to be a horticulturalist?
Not necessarily,
Yeah.
no. But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, as a kid, I wanted to be a zookeeper or a marine biologist, and then I got into plants a little bit later. And so I've always wanted to work with plants, but I've also really liked animals.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
It's so cool.
I get to be, I get to help take care of the plants, but I also get to help out with the animals as well. So
that benefit from your plants.
yeah.
I see a lot of them are out. Why aren't they flying away?
So when these butterflies emerge, their wings are curled up because they were in their chrysalis.
Right here.
And they actually pump fluid from their body into their wings to expand
That's
their
what's
wings.
down here.
So that's what you see on the ground and on these rags.
So it's not poop.
It's not poop. It's just a fluid they use to expand their wings.
Okay.
And then it takes them some time for their wings to harden or dry. So some of them are dry and ready to fly, obviously, and some of them are still kind of drying out or expanding their wings. So, yeah. So I try to only get the ones that are ready to fly
That are completely dry and ready.
and give the ones that aren't space to dry out. And
What kind of butterflies are these?
so I believe these are all in the group called longwings.
Okay.
Longwings are, I believe, the longest lived butterflies we have.
How long do they live?
So some of these longwings, I believe, can live 3 to 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And that's pretty long for a butterfly. Monarchs can live a pretty long time. You know, they're migratory. Some of them are migratory.
Okay.
But some butterflies and moths will only live a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So a lot of insects have that life cycle where they'll have an egg, and then they'll have a larval stage, and then they'll have an adult stage. And a lot of them will spend most of their time as a larva. Cicadas do that.
Oh, yeah.
They'll live underground for years.
Yeah.
And then they emerge, and the adults are really there to make eggs, and then
Yeah.
That's their last stage.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll take these out. So I'll typically bring them out. If the sun is out, I'll try to take them somewhere where there's some sunlight. And then I try to take them somewhere where there are some flowers.
Okay.
Because sometimes some of them still aren't quite ready to fly.
Yeah.
And so if they're not, if I can put them on a flower,
Oh, hi, Bud.
then they can at least feed
Yeah.
and maybe get a little more dry. So if you, you can get it like that, or you can
Grab it like that.
gently
So
like
that's
that.
a safe way.
Yeah, if you can really gently. Whoop. Okay. Told you they like sweat. So they really do like sweat. They like the salts. They like feeding on the salts. Butterflies will do the same thing on like gravel roads or trails because they're just they're getting the minerals, you know.
There's a lot of plants in here. How long did it take for all the plants to grow to be this big or this mature?
So some of these have taken a really long time to grow, like the trees have been here probably since about the beginning of the butterfly garden.
Yeah.
A lot of these plants are from like the southern US or Mexico, or there's also some from Southeast Asia. Some of the plants I trim back regularly and they grow so fast that it looks like they've been here forever. So like the vine on the back wall, I had completely cut down about 3 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And it just grows like a vine in a jungle.
What is it called?
So that is a bleeding heart vine.
Okay.
And it can produce these really nice flowers at certain times of year that the butterflies really love. And they're white with little red heart-shaped flowers.
Do they have favorite flowers or a favorite bush?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So their favorite flowers seem to be, these are porter weeds.
Okay.
So we have lots and lots of porter weed. And then they also really like,
He was ready.
they really like, there's some shrubs with orange flowers. Those are ixoras, and they really, really like those. So I try to have a lot of the flowers they seem to like, and then I'll fill in with some other plants that are different or interesting, or maybe they'll like.
Oh, and they can see them all right there. I've never noticed that.
Yeah,
Oh, I've never
So the
noticed
idea is that every time we get a shipment of pupa, we'll pin them up and hang them in the exhibit so that people can see them,
the whole process.
and see what they look like, see the butterflies emerge.
I guess I'm just trying to keep kids from grabbing butterflies when I'm in here, and so I.
That does happen.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's also the bird, the partridge, which most children love as well. I'll whistle to her in the mornings when I'm in here by myself, and she'll whistle back, but I think she really believes this is her place and we're just visitors.
Yeah, but that's true.
So she I think sometimes is in her mind giving me instructions. She'll follow me around sometimes as I'm working, and I think she's trying to tell me what to do, but she's been great. And she's almost always out. I see her surrounded by people and even kids, and she'll just stand there. She doesn't seem to be stressed out being around people.
Friendly.
Yeah.
So you work all over the aquarium. What makes this place so special?
So I think one of the best things about this space is I'm having to provide plants in here that actually provide sustenance for these animals. So these butterflies literally survive off of the plants. In a lot of other exhibits, we provide plants that help out. They may
Normalize, like you were saying,
but the animals don't actually have to eat off of the plant to survive. In here, almost all of these butterflies feed off nectar, and that's what they live off of while they're in here. So I'm having to provide enough plants for them to be able to survive on. pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really neat.
And try to make them flower all the time.
Something flowering.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Austin, for showing us around today and letting us release butterflies and telling us about the different plants. I know it is just so cool to hear the backstory of why each plant is here and the job they're doing. I know I'll pay more attention to that next time we come for sure.
Thank you for coming. I was happy to do it.